Unaffected. Welcome to Unaffected, a podcast that offers a curated look at some obscure, forgotten, and neglected singers of the mid-20th century. I'm your host, Ethan Stoller, and today, forget everything you thought you knew about Teresa Pinto Coelho. Okay, maybe you didn't know very much, and before I start talking about her, I just want to get the sound of her voice in your ears. So check out this song from 1963. This is from a television broadcast. This is Dans mon île.
Dans mon île, ah, comme on est bien. Dans mon île, on ne fait jamais rien. On se dort au soleil qui nous caresse et l'on paresse sans songer à demain dans mon île. Ah, comme il fait doux, bien tranquille, près de mon doudou, sous les grands cocotiers qui se balancent en silence.
You're welcome. This is the kind of singing voice that when people who really know my taste, if they heard this, they'd go, oh, this is an Ethan song voice. I love it. I love it. So let's talk a little bit about the singer. Let's talk about her name first. So her full name is, and forgive my Portuguese pronunciation, Teresa Pinto Coelho. Her only commercial musical release was released under just the name Teresa, which puts her in company of, at least according to Discogs, 31 other Teresa-only artists. So I think if you're Googling around, you need to Google her full name, which her full name, by the way, must be just like John Smith in Portugal, because there's many results, and she's not necessarily the top one. And that familiarity of the name might account for how fast this introducer, Simone de Oliveira, says her name. This is from another TV broadcast from 1980. I'm just going to play you the clip of her introducing her. Now remember, her name is Teresa Pinto Coelho, but this is Simone de Oliveira saying the name.
Teresa Pinto Coelho.
That was it. And by my count, it's like 8 syllables reduced to 3. Pretty impressive. And as tempting as it is to keep playing that clip every time I say her name, I won't. I might just say Teresa. So Teresa's only release was a 7-inch 4-song EP. And you may have noticed that the song I played was in French. And you'd be right. In fact, Teresa was quite the polyglot. Of the 4 songs on her only EP, they're sung in 4 different languages. And part of my theory why she didn't record more is just because she could not keep up that pace, just different language on every song. So she stopped at 4. I'm not clear why, but she was very adept at singing in different languages. And I want to get to the next song, La Domenica, which means Sunday in Italian. And I'm pretty taken with her Italian. Let's have a listen.
Io sulle vetrine sono un'altra sconosciuta Cerco fra la gente qualche cosa che ho perduto. Sento i passi lenti di famiglie e di sbadigli e le radio accese nelle case sopra me. La domenica io non capisco, la domenica non penso niente, sono sola nella strada, la domenica è finita, sola tra la gente che si crede divertita. Vedo i lampi gialli dei semafori occhieggianti, come i miei pensieri silenziosi intorno a me. La domenica, ma non sorrido, la domenica. Dentro di me non c'è domenica. Io non capisco la domenica.
I listened to this song quite a bit preparing for this episode, and I started to become curious about prosody of different languages, meaning, are there certain rhythmic patterns that are unique or common in some languages and not others? Because to me, she sounds so natural singing in Italian that I was wondering why. And I went down the rabbit hole. I thought this pattern of a trochaic foot, which is stressed, unstressed, followed by what I learned is called a tertius pian, which is a 4-syllable foot with unstressed, unstressed, stressed, unstressed. So put those two together, it's bum bum para bum bum. But that led nowhere. I couldn't find that was a uniquely Italian prosody. But I did discover a cool thing, which was called a paroxytone, which was new to me, which is a phenomenon where the second to last syllable in a phrase or a word are the ones that tend to be stressed. And that is common in Italian and Portuguese. So, tetrazzini, or, words like that. I'm not going to go off on a thing, but I thought that was an interesting discovery that Italian and Portuguese share this kind of rhythmic pattern to them. And maybe that's why she sounds so natural singing it. And I love also the Italianness of those tiny rolled R's in the way she sings that just sounds so natural, like she's been doing them her whole life. And let's just listen to her finish the song and listen for those small rolled R's.
La domenica, ma non sorrido, la domenica. Dentro di me non c'è domenica. Io non capisco la domenica.
So as convincing as her Italian is, at least to my amateur ears, I think Teresa's performances are still uniquely Portuguese. There are, where I'm grabbing a lot of these YouTube videos of her, thankfully, or they exist, where I guess they were posted by her son about 7 or 8 years ago, I think, in 2011, 2012. Without these videos, there are about 6 of them. The only document we would have of her would be these 4 songs on this record. And what I noticed in these videos is literally she never smiles. And most of the songs thematically don't require big smiles. A couple of them might, though, but she never breaks character. And I think that might be because of the fado tradition in Portuguese, which is, if you're not too familiar, this is something we'll discuss in future episodes, but fado is kind of the national music of Portugal. And its most prevalent feature is a melancholy. It's longing. There is a word, saudade, which is uniquely Portuguese / Brazilian, which expresses this kind of longing, nostalgic emotion that we don't quite have a word for in English. And I think that singers from Portugal deliver fados tend to embrace the melancholy. So I think as international and as maybe cosmopolitan as Teresa was, she still clings to that Portuguese identity, which only enhances how cool she is to me. Let's listen, speaking of cool, let's listen to her rendition of Fever, made famous, of course, by Peggy Lee. And you're never going to do better than Peggy Lee when you sing in Fever, especially, but I think she gives a gallant try, and I don't know, it sounds cool to my ears. Let's have a listen.
Never know how much I love you, never know how much I care. When you put your arms around me, I get a fever that's so hard to bear. You give me fever when you kiss me, fever when you hold me tight. Fever in the morning, fever all through the night. Sun lights up the daytime, moon lights up the night. I light up when you call my name, and you know I'm gonna treat you right. You give me fever when you kiss me, fever when you hold me tight. Fever in the morning, fever all through the night. Everybody's got the fever, that is something you all know. Fever isn't such a new thing, fever started long ago.
You know what separates the pros from the amateur when they're singing this song is that 2-syllable higher pitch, fever. A lot of times the singer might take the easy way out and just go, fever. But no, it's just a tiny thing that I've noticed. With that in mind, let's listen to Teresa finish this song.
Now you've listened to my story. Here's the point that I have made. Chicks were born to give you fever, be it Fahrenheit or centigrade, they give you fever. When you kiss them, fever if you really learn. Fever till you sizzle, what a lovely way to burn. Oh, what a lovely way to burn. What a lovely way to burn. Oh, what a lovely way to burn. What a lovely way to burn.
A lovely way to burn, indeed. Moving on to another singer who, like Teresa, only ever released one record, released that record only under her first name, and whose full name is extremely common in her home country. I'm talking about Moira Bean from Bermuda, whose one record came out in the early 60s. I don't have the exact date. She's backed on the record by a band led by her husband, Graham Bean, who I read studied guitar under Les Paul and followed Les Paul's footsteps in recording a record with his spouse. What strikes me about the record I'm going to play is the sincere level of pride Moira takes in singing about her country, Bermuda. And she almost delivers it like a love song to me, which I think is beautiful because Bermuda only has a population of about 60,000 people. And I imagine also being so isolated in the middle of the ocean that being from there would constitute a big part of your identity if you're from there. So when I listen to this track, I feel like she's really relishing the opportunity to brag about her hometown, her home island, uh, and she's got a really lovely voice to boot. Let's have a listen. This is Moira singing Bermuda.
Out on the ocean, far, far away, there's an island so pretty, where cool breezes play. A dreamland, they call it, where dreams come true. Just a wee bit of heaven out on the blue. Bermuda, Bermuda, this wonderful isle where there's never a teardrop, but always a smile. Will never forsake you, but just one to take you forever and ever, wherever we may go. Bermuda, Bermuda, wonderful, wonderful isle, where there's never, no never, a teardrop, but always, always a smile. Will never forsake you, but just one to take you forever and ever, wherever we may go, wherever we may go, wherever we may go.
I like that. Not to be outdone, as we conclude, Teresa also has a song about her home city. I don't know for sure she's from Lisbon, but this song, as we are closing out, is called Lisboa à Noite, Lisbon at Night. Enjoy it, and just thanks again for tuning in on Unaffected. We'll be back in a couple weeks with a new episode. Check us out on the web, unaffectedpod.com, Instagram and Twitter, unaffectedpod. And if you feel like giving us a rating, that's cool. And 5 stars, even cooler. But we're not here for ratings, we're here to share music. Hope you're enjoying it. Thank you very much. See you next time.
Lisboa andou de lado em lado, foi ver uma toirada, depois bailou, bebeu. Lisboa ouviu cantar dormi à madrugada quando ela adormeceu. Lisboa, Lisboa, Lisboa.
This has been an Ambivert Media production.